is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
How good is that? It is Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie for your Tuesday podcast, talking insurance scams today. And we were talking about this. I'd love to know how much money you've wasted on insurance.
Yeah.
You know what? And not getting that money back.
Is it a waste? Come on, Fitz. You've got to think of it as an investment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you are right, Kate. But there are thousands and thousands of money that you're putting in that you are not getting back. So that's why we're going to become criminals today and talk about insurance scams and the best way to do it. I've got an unbelievable story of a young man who tried to take home $1.3 million in health insurance and got busted.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
So let's talk about insurance because it can be quite tough when for years and years you're paying your insurance. The premiums seem to be going up, and let's not lie here, guys. They've been going up. Health insurance has definitely been going up since the pandemic, hasn't it?
Oh, you're not wrong, Ryan.
And you get to a point where you're going, well, is this worth doing? I have forked out thousands and thousands of dollars here, but in the back of your mind, Kate, you have to keep going because if something goes wrong and you don't have that insurance, you're going to be kicking yourself.
Absolutely.
But then when you look at it, you think at this age, what have you really paid for? Like, I mean, in terms of medical outgoings, you haven't coughed up a lot, have you? Well, yet you've been paying a fortune to the insurance
I see what
company.
you mean. Yeah.
Personally, you haven't had any dramas. You know,
well, you're
hope.
lucky if that's the case.
You know what's funny? When you look at the chart of where the premiums really raw, when you hit about 65, the cost of your health insurance goes through the roof.
Well, I don't think you can get it, can you, if you're later in life?
Yeah, it just costs you about $10,000 a month.
I want to talk about insurance scams because it gets to a point where people think, okay, all right, I've had enough. Now it's my turn to get some money back here. How am I going to do this? A university student in Taiwan has had his legs amputated in hopes of receiving a $1.3 million insurance payout, but he's unfortunately been arrested on the suspicion of fraud. He's only known as his last name, Zhang, 23 years of age. So on January 26, Zhang and his mate Lau rode around Taipei on a motorbike at night wanting to present the claim that Zhang was afflicted with frostbite while riding the vehicle in the late evening. It was only 5 degrees that night.
Okay.
We're talking
in Taiwan.
You're not going to get frostbite from that. Yep.
And they're saying it's a subtropical region. The cases of severe frostbite aren't really rampant around here.
I wouldn't have thought.
So they investigated a little bit more. His legs bore no shoe or sock marks, and his injuries appeared symmetrical, which were inconsistent with a naturally occurring frostbite injury. They then quizzed him a little bit more and found out that he soaked his feet for 10 hours in dry ice to get frostbite.
You're as cold as ice.
So he went through the actual
pain
process.
And you're 23.
Amazing.
Why are you chopping your legs off at 23?
Just to get 1.3. He wound up getting 7,200, which now he's gone to court. He has to return that money as well. So he's lost his legs and didn't get the insurance scam.
Out of desperation.
Zhang.
Very sad.
Come on, Zhang. I mean, it's different if you're doing a neck brace for a couple of weeks trying to claim some workers' comp.
Is it that different?
I mean, that's all right to do, and you're
it?
getting a starring role on a current affair, but you're not chopping your legs off.
Amateurs.
Man.
Amateurs. They did find out as well that just days before, 4 days before they went in for the claim, they took out the expensive policies for life insurance, travel insurance and accident insurance.
Okay,
4 days.
Frostbite insurance.
4 days before. Come on, Zane.
Come on, you got to plan it. You got to plan ahead.
Come on, mate.
There was a bloke at school that was well known that if your car was getting a little bit older, he would take it over to the Big Dipper. Now, the Big Dipper was a huge hill, Kate, and if you got enough speed at the top of the Big Dipper, you would get airborne.
Yeah.
And he was well known that he could get airborne in your car, and mid-air he would put it into neutral, then into reverse, and when the car hit the ground again, it would just completely annihilate the car.
Where was he?
So he
Was he
so
in
Did
the
he
car?
jump out of the car?
So you would then get your car would be an absolute write-off. You would get paid out for your car, and then you owed him a percentage of
Right.
that.
Someone stole the car.
Shock.
Absolute shonk. Pip in Blackheath. How'd you get back with the insurance companies?
Same type of idea. My brother's car was worth nothing, but he had a really good sound system back in the day of CD players and
subwoofer.
speakers and stuff. Subwoofers, yep. So he stripped it all out and left his car unlocked in a dodgy area. And 2 days later, it was reported stolen, and the insurance company gave us all the money for the subwoofer and gave us all the stuff that was apparently taken out of the car.
Well, it's I mean, if you do leave it, I unfortunately forgot to lock it.
Yeah.
I didn't lock it.
No.
Can they prove that? Can you say, yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I locked it?
No,
I mean,
no.
they can't prove
Well,
that,
I
can they?
don't know. Well, maybe with cars these days, with all of the
Yep.
computers. My mum, when we were growing up, we had a yellow Ford Falcon
Yeah.
with not enough seats for all the children, I don't think. Oh, hang on, there was a bench seat at the front. And Mum, for the life of her, would leave it unlocked wherever we
Hoping.
went, but no one would take
Oh, steal it, please.
Please.
This one even comes with Sally in the back.
All right,
13
Fido.
24 10. Get involved. Love to know if you have an insurance rip-off. If you got a story, give us a call.
Grace in Newtown, tell us about your friend.
My friend was overseas with no health insurance and had a really bad motorcycle accident. Bought it, had to wait for it to come through, and by the time he was able to get it, he almost lost his foot. And
Oh,
it
my
was
God.
a hard sell that it was a brand new, infection.
When you get a brand new insurance, I mean, when you're taking out a claim pretty quickly, how are you getting away with that? Isn't there a buffer on it that you got to wait a week or two, or
So
do you know
doesn't-
how long you had to wait, Grace?
It was about 6 days, I think, and his doctor kind of looked at him and was like, I'll say it's new, but I know this isn't. But he was in hospital for weeks because he really almost lost his foot.
Oh, wow.
God,
I think
scary.
with pregnancy insurance, you have to have had it for 12 months or something.
Yeah, right.
Hospital insurance.
Well, that,
and things
yeah, I
like
can
that.
imagine. Taylor in St Mary's.
Hi.
What's your story?
I used to work at a law firm that would represent the insurance companies in insurance claims for workers' compensation.
Oh, gosh.
And we busted plenty of people. We had this one guy, and he would claim that he had, like, psychological damage from being bullied at work, and that his life was horrible. Would say to the psychologist that his relationship's in the dumps, that he can't leave the house, can't do anything. So I jumped on Facebook and stalked him. And he's living it up at the Mardi Gras, going overseas, absolutely living his best life. And we produced that evidence, and he went AWOL on his lawyers. Never heard from him again.
Facebook and insurance claims don't really work well together, do they? They're not.
No, not at all.
There are too
No,
many
yeah.
eyes everywhere.
Too many eyes.
Well,
Taylor.
it's it's the work cover one on a current affair. I mean, they're always great episodes. The work cover claims for 3 years, dodgy back, but
Yep.
he's got a lawn mowing round.
Yep.
Which
And he's running an aerobics Oz class.
This is the Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
I've spoken about this before. I've never understood when it comes to small business. I know how hard it would be for people to survive, but I spoke about, remember the hair salon that opened up right next door to another hair salon on Darling Street in Balmain, and the locals were going, oh my gosh, that's a great hair salon. Why would you open another one up right next door to it? But I suppose people have to get in with commercial real estate, and sometimes it's hard.
I guess so. I
got-
thought there might have been rules and regulations around that. Like there is only allowed to be one hairdresser every 100 metres.
I don't reckon. I don't have an issue with that. You see it with cafes all the time. And if you ask me, it just brings more people to the area.
Makes it competitive.
Everybody wins.
Lift. Everyone
Lift.
lift.
No.
Lift it.
Not everyone does win, mate, because in Summerhill at the moment on Lackey Street, which is lined with bars, restaurants, there's patisseries there as well. There's already 2 Italian restaurants, Andiamo's and Da Vinci's, right next door to each other, right? So, So you've got 2 Italian restaurants, and don't get me wrong, it's my favourite food. Without a doubt, pasta is just magnificent, where you can take the kids in there, it's a family.
Feed everybody.
Well, the team behind Omeggio at the Spit is set to open another Italian restaurant a couple of 100 metres down the road. So now you're going to have 3 Italian restaurants less than 200 metres away from each other, and there is blow-ups, Kate.
Caffè Principessa.
But there are a lot of people like pasta. I mean, don't you think? Pasta for everybody.
And you're talking about lifting, right? I completely agree. Make sure that your salt and pepper squid is better than the one down the road. Make sure your seafood linguine is the best bloody seafood linguine that anyone's ever tasted.
And
Why are you talking like Chopper?
Huh?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly.
I'm just getting into a competitive spirit.
But Italian is not. I mean, there can still be different kinds of Italian
Yes, they
restaurants.
can.
You can do your standard
Pizza
Italian
pasta.
for the the Aussies who just want a carbonara and a garlic bread. But then there are also different, there are lots of different regions within Italy.
Yep.
Different wine lists. I mean, the garlic bread can really set Italian restaurants apart.
I mean, you might do the veal.
Do you remember when McDonald's when it started taking off? It's the same with any franchise. Subway was the same as well. And then you get all these business people going, okay, what corner could I put it on that hasn't been in the area yet?
Yeah.
McDonald's were always a big one. If you could get yourself a McDonald's in a country town where there's no other fast food outlets,
you're home.
You were dominating, weren't you?
I got a quick tip for you for those competing restaurants. You're going to need to be creative with the specials that you run on a daily basis.
Oh, here we go.
So what I would advise on a Sunday night, this is a great one if you're a family restaurant.
Okay.
Kids eat free. Kids eat free.
What
is
if
a
you
cracker.
don't want the kids in there? It can just
Sunday-
become like
Go down the road, mate.
It would have to be a Tuesday night because Sundays would be your most busiest.
Yeah.
Fridays, Saturdays, I suppose, would be up there as well. But
Kids eat free.
you're losing a bit of coin there.
No.
What if you got 100 kids in the place?
Well, don't worry about that. It's the fact that the adults come in, and when the kids are happy, they'll drink. So you're making most of your money probably from your wine list anyway.
Well,
and
they
you're
shouldn't be
spitting out
doing that
dough
on
in
a
your gut.
Sunday night.
Well, don't worry
Should be
about.
at home ironing the school uniforms.
Well, iron it with a couple of crinkles because you've had too many grogs. It's still going to be okay.
The people of Summer Hill, the people of Summer Hill are the winners here, without a doubt. If you're cruising up Lucky Street, you're the one that's if you want Italian, the choices that you have. Do you know what we don't do here in Australia? We probably do, but I haven't seen it. But they do it in the States quite a bit, and in New York, they have the share plate. So you can basically what it is, Kate, is a huge plate, and they put a dollop of every pasta on the menu on the plate.
That makes me want to spew.
What are you talking about? It's magnificent.
That is not
It's all there.
magnificent.
Ravioli, linguine.
Oh, Fitzy, please.
Do you know what?
You want one plate with 5 different pastas on it?
Yes, I do.
Oh, grow up.
On a lazy Susan.
Grow
and a soft serve machine.
It's got nothing to do with my age at all.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
I tell you what, it's always a nice day to go to the pub. Bit of Cosmic Psychos for your Tuesday morning. This was a big discussion on Reddit over the weekend on Easter weekend, and if you weren't out there celebrating eating chocolate, I tell you, you probably would have been on Reddit trying to work this one out. But the headline is the Aussie pub side salad purely just for decoration? Now,
You mean in a separate bowl, or do you mean on the plate?
no, on the plate.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, let's focus on a schnitzel, right? Because if you get a Parmigiana, you are going to get some chips, and then you get your little salad on the side.
Great.
Now, there were a lot of publicans that were in this discussion, and they were saying that 90% of the side salads that they actually put on that plate are thrown out at the end because people don't eat them.
Well, you would say it's your third option on that plate. So if you've got a schnitzel there, you've got a pile of chips and the salad's there, you didn't order that dish for the salad. What should be recognised is how well, if it's got a bit of vinegar on it, a bit of dressing on the salad, how well that can go with the chips. Don't write the salad off is what I'm saying, mate.
Well, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that you can't eat the Parmigiana and the chips without the salad. So it's a perfect combination. And for me, it makes me feel so much better knowing that because I'm about to inhale so much fat, right, that if I can have that tiny little bit of green on there, maybe with some red and some tomatoes and some balsamic,
that's nice.
it makes, in my mind, it makes me feel so much better that there's a bit of health on that plate.
Yeah, it's fresh and it's clean, isn't it? It's herbaceous. Ryan, I would suggest it's also a bit of a, what they would describe as a palate cleanser. So
It's funny.
You do
It's
feel better about it.
So that was somebody's response. The little vinegary salad is a palate cleanser and refresher.
Absolutely. You know what? On Sunday, we went to the vault in Berrimah. We were down in the Southern Islands, mate, where the farmers live. And I said to the bloke, Jake, who was there serving, I said, Jake, I've got a menu in front of me. I don't want to look at it. Tell me what to eat. He said, you're mad if you don't have the Sunday roast. And it came out and it was pork and it was beautiful. It had vegetables and sensational potatoes.
Gravy?
But underneath, a little bit of gravy, which I poured on. It was a side of, so I did the dressing myself. But what was beautiful, underneath, just a couple of carrots. And the freshness of the vegetable made me feel fine about the crackling.
Can you have chips with
Yes,
that,
you can.
with the roast?
Yes, you can.
Did you?
In a side serving, yes. I didn't have an issue with it. But then an extra side of greens came with it. And I'm not afraid of a Brussels sprout either, mate.
Oh, no, gross.
I'll do it.
See, this is the thing, though. There's a lot of pubs out there that don't put they don't put enough effort into their little side salads.
Yeah.
You definitely... Okay, so you need... I like my iceberg. It'd be great if you could get a nice lettuce with it. But you definitely need... So you need your onion. You definitely need tomato, don't you?
In your salad?
Yeah.
Yeah, have your tomato, yep.
What? So are they the main three ingredients, or what else would you have in a salad?
It depends how fancy you go. I mean, if I have my choice of salad as a separate dish, it would be pear, rocket and parmesan. Always refreshing.
So you're not
Always.
having pear,
Yes,
rocket
you are,
and
mate.
parmesan with a schnitzel?
Yes, you are. That's quite common at the pub these days. Am I right, Timbo?
Yeah, it's actually Tombo. Or a coleslaw. Yeah.
You would do a coleslaw, would you, mate?
Tommy, actually, you are
Animal
right
for a
there.
coleslaw?
So good.
The old panko crumbed schnitzel with a coleslaw. Yes, please.
Tom, you get it all over your mouth and you look like a bulldog eating custard.
Oh, so good.
You're really
He's
quite a
not even
mess.
at the pub yet either.
Oh, it's a nice day to go to the pub. Just play it again. It's a nice...
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Discovered a company by the name of Remember Well. And I always have those fond memories of those that were with us and now in the afterlife have passed. We remember them well. Remember well.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
I actually quite like having a wander around a cemetery every now and
But
then.
you walk through a cemetery.
I do.
morbid,
yeah.
isn't
Not walk through a cemetery.
I did that on Friday
What
with the
for?
dog.
What for?
What,
Because
looking
it's
for...
beautiful view, beautiful tombstones. I actually saw
talking
a
about?
couple of famous tombstones.
Whose?
I'm not going to
no.
say because I don't know. It doesn't have a thing on it.
You know what you're doing.
Doesn't it?
No,
Kate-
and I don't know
Kate's-
if people know that that's where that person is now. Yeah,
Stop
no.
everything.
Yeah.
Kate's going to flog a few bouquets of flowers. Obviously.
Oh, I am. That's what
Ritchie.
I need a decoration for my Easter cake.
Are you telling me in the Clavalle Cemetery,
Where's Clavalle?
is that right? Clavalle. Yeah, I know.
Machiavelli.
I know you're going to pick on me. That cemetery, you know the one I'm talking
How
about.
do you know that I'm talking about that cemetery?
Because I thought you lived in the east.
I don't know where I live.
So there's someone in there that's famous that's unmarked.
There's a lot of famous people in there.
For eastern suburbs.
To do with history.
Is it Banjo Patterson?
It's very interesting. I think Banjo Patterson is in there, or someone like that is in there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. That's not what we're talking about. But I love a good tombstone.
The unknown grave.
And the angels. I go and see one particular angel and I say, hello, there you are. And I take a photo and then I go again.
What does the angel look like?
Like with wings?
Oh, so it's an actual, like
It's
a
an angel.
marble or stone angel. One angel to another.
I love going to see the angels as well.
Different
And,
thing,
you know,
mate. Very
No way,
different thing. Oh, no. So what this is, let's get back to it. So Remember Well. It's a company that produces little stick-on squares that will go onto a tombstone. So they attach onto the rock like that.
Right.
And they have a QR code on it. So you can go up to the tombstone, get out your phone, click on the link, and it'll go straight to a video of the couple or the gent that may be resting there, and you will see the beautiful life story, possibly, if that's the family's wishes, of that person.
Do you get 20% off at the Black Stump restaurant or something like that as well on the QR code or not?
Imagine this. Fitzy dies, right? You go up, you hit the QR code, and it's got him on Big Brother going, "Fitzy!" and then punching a blow-up kangaroo. Or it's you kicking 5 on debut, just a best-of with a bit of commentary.
What would yours be? Then, if I've got some highlights in my life, I'm trying to think what yours would be.
Oh, there'd
Be you in the bib and brace thing, doing that
Oh,
modelling?
In the
It'd be that.
Lederhausen.
Yeah, is that right? Maybe
After he annihilated 2 kilos of mud crab, Tommy, it'd be a photo of that, or
or the Hot Wheels record, the day you got the Hot Wheels record for the little cars.
or the night you took Lisa to Chinatown when you're already in another relationship.
What a
I
pity.
don't think we filmed
What a
that.
pity.
I don't like it.
I love it.
I don't like it.
Do you know what I think you could do, Kate? You could do, like, you go up, people go, and it could say on the tombstone, to celebrate the life of whoever, click on the QR code below, and then you click on it, and bang, you've been rickrolled. You've been rickrolled.
Oh, you've done a Rickroll joke.
There's so many.
I don't
There
get
is
it.
so many things you could do. You know, could go through to a Ricky
and
Lee
you've
song.
you've gone Rickrolled into Ricky Lee. You've been Ricky Roll.
double Rick.
The Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie podcast.
Can you take me to church? Let's go to church.
Great song.
An Anglican priest in South Australia, Thomas Carmichael. I'll just call him Thomas Caramel, I reckon. He moved to the York Peninsula in 2011, where he developed a close relationship with parishioner Joan Carell. Actually, I might send you a photo here.
What's a parishioner?
Carell and
Caramella koala.
Caramello.
What's
Who
parish-
are you
what's a
sending a
parishioner,
photograph?
Tom?
Well, they attend the
that's some-
parish. They
okay.
they just one of
Someone
the
who
locals.
goes to the church all the time,
Yeah.
Jess. I've just sent you that photo.
An
There's the
attendee.
two. Yeah, they're very close. Now, Mrs. Carell's husband Merv died in 1994, and the church became. She's a parishioner. She goes all the time. That was for her just to go and sort of think of her husband Merv, and she's got an estate. Like, she's got quite a bit of money
Okay.
that the Anglican Father Thomas picked up very early. Okay. They developed a relationship to the point that, unfortunately, when Mrs. Carell died a few years later, she donated quite a bit of her $4.4 million to charity.
Yeah.
She gave every one of her family members $100,000, and the Anglican Father Thomas Carmichael got $2.2 million.
He's done all right for himself, hasn't he? Hooked up with a wealthy lady.
Really?
He's just been defrocked. I was going to do what the defrock calls
No.
dodgy priest
No.
calls, but I didn't think that would go down too well.
No,
Tom.
The frock off.
not after Easter.
No. Sensitive time of the year.
Next week. We'll do it next week.
No, we're not doing that. So he lost his position at the church, did he?
He did.
Because of the cash?
Because of the relationship. Well, this is the thing. The Anglican side of things, are you still allowed to have a relationship? Because I know there are certain religions where you can get
Yes.
married.
I'm
can't
sure you can, but imagine
Yeah,
having
you can.
to follow
you
the
can
line.
be the head of the parish and be married.
Imagine following the line of religion all your life, and then all of a sudden you're defrocked, and you've got 2.2 in the tank. I tell you what, I'm breaking every rule in the bloody book.
Well, this
My
is the thing.
place tonight. Don't bring your wives. Not me. I
it's
wouldn't
hard.
be doing this, but I would think some men would.
Joan,
Not me.
Yeah. Come over here and pray with me, Joan.
Imagine the family. Imagine being all of the other children who only ended up. I mean, 100,000 is nothing to be sniffed at, but
Correct.
Like when you know
2.2.
that old mate's getting 2.2.
And he would be going, "Bit, the Lord has spoken. He looked down on me and decided that I was worthy of the $2.2 million. Get out of my face!"
I don't think it's a song. I don't think they sing it in the church.
Succulent Chinese meal.
It would be so shattering for the family that you have known, Auntie Joan,
Oh, yeah.
or Cousin Joan,
getting
or your
hungry.
sister that you've had so many memories with your whole life, Kate.
Yeah, or your mum.
Of the same
Or
blood.
your mum.
Yeah, don't forget mum. What if Joan's mum? Is that photo that you sent through to us? Is that Joan and the
Caramel.
the guy?
Yeah, that's Thomas with that's in front of his brand new pool that he's bought for $2.2 million.
300 metres. He's bought the whole town.
And that's in IB. That's in IB, fam.
That's his summer house, you fools.
Fitzy and Wippa with Kate Ritchie is a Nova podcast. For more great shows like this, download the Nova Player via the App Store or Google Play.
The Nova Player.